Members of Climb Against Sexual Abuse and a group of survivors of sexual abuse have started climbing the Drakensberg Mountains. The climb is symbolic of the daily physical and mental challenges that rape survivors face. eNCA's Yusuf Omar is there and joins us now via Skype. Yusuf, I know that it doesn't take a lot for you to be up for some kind of adventure, but this time around it's adventure with a purpose, and it actually is in support of a cause. How far are you in terms of the climbing, and are you keeping up?
Julius, as you can see, the summit is still a long way to go behind us, and you're absolutely right. The scenery is beautiful, the views are majestic, but the stories that we're hearing here are quite dark. They're sad tales. We're meeting very brave young people like Kanyiso, who's standing beside me. I'll introduce her in just a moment, but first I want to talk a little bit about the mountain. I mean, the hikers are not far behind us. They're going to be on for another about 6 hours till they summit. And they're doing this as part of a global appeal. It's happening around the world. And the aim eventually is to go to Everest Base Camp next year. Kanyiso might be one of those people that are heading to Base Camp. This mountain has actually got quite an interesting name, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. This mountain is called Kwamfazi, which means a woman. So it being Women's Month, it's quite great that we're climbing a mountain named after a woman.
Now, I've heard a little bit about your story, and you seem willing to share it. Your story, your kidnapping, and what ensued afterwards took place in the Johannesburg CBD. This is a very different setting. Where is the mountain taking you to right now? Where are you feeling?
It really is taking me back to thinking about what happened, but more so dealing with the feelings that come with it. And I think as we go, we get to points that are quite difficult, but we get over them. And this is same with the abuse. It's difficult, but you do get over it as time goes. There's hurdles, but you get over them.
Now, in the group that we've come in, there's 3 people that have been sexual abuse survivors. And of course, they're not all women. There's men that are affected by this too, and it comes from all demographics of South African society. Are you finding that you can relate to their stories? Are you finding it interesting that you can finally speak out with people that might understand what you've been through?
Yes, it is. It makes it much easier because they understand the feelings or the emotions that you went through. And at the end of the day, we all are for one cause, that, you know what, we want to fight this. And I think that's what's great about it, having to share the stories with them.
For viewers out there that haven't spoken out, what are some of the feelings that might emerge, some of the steps that you had to go through?
There's going to be doubt. You're going to feel damaged. You're going to feel worthless. And you're going to blame yourself. And to viewers out there, I'd like to let them know that don't blame yourself because you're not the one that did this to yourself. And stay strong because you're beautiful. And don't allow that other person, that perpetrator, to take away your strength because of their weakness.
Finally, when we get to the top of Table Mountain, to this mountain, I believe you've got something you want to read, a poem.
Yes, it's a poem I wrote when I finally reached the summit of surviving abuse. So it's called Thank You, and it really is close to my heart.
There you hear it, Phyllis. I mean, that's just one of the stories that I've been come across here. Kanyiso telling us a little bit about what happened to her in downtown Johannesburg and how this exercise, this climb, is part of a greater metaphor for overcoming the hurdles that many survivors face after having dealt with a sexual abuse in their community, in their area, or perhaps in their home.
Quite amazing, Yusuf Omar. Just before I let you go very quickly, it's a long journey, the recovery and surviving sexual abuse for many women. But in terms of the physical journey that you are traveling now, how far are you from the summit?
I think we've got numerous kilometers to go. We've done about 5 kilometers. We're going past what's called Monweni Pools. It's in the northern Drakensberg, but it's getting increasingly steeper. The gradients are getting definitely more difficult. And I think this has become somewhat of an eye-opener to many of the hikers here that are planning to do the Everest Base Camp, that have got a lot of training to do. This is quite a pleasant day. It's not too hot, not too cold. But of course, we've got paramedics with us as well. They've got a helicopter team that are on standby because you really can't mess around in these sorts of environments. Things can go wrong very quickly. We had to do a full assessment of what sort of medical conditions people were coming into this hike with, because frequently on these mountains there are emergency evacuations that take place. But we'll be crossing to you live as we get up to the summit, and hopefully if we have signal we'll reach you guys at the top.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That is our Yusuf Omar.